There we go. We're
Now
starting.
they told me that I'm being recorded.
All right. So today, very well, I was recording another episode with a friend, but our time schedules got jacked up and stuff happened and they have a baby. So you're
Mm.
technically my first guest. So go ahead and
Awesome.
introduce yourself and we'll jump in.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Well, I'm Lindsay. Lindsay Pagel. We went to high school together like 600 years ago. But yeah. So 29 now. Just surviving, like I guess all of us are.
I feel so old. My
I know.
grandma, I went to my grandparents yesterday and she's like, "Oh, you drink Alani's? Like a teenage girl just died from those." And I said, "Grandma, I'm like almost 30." And she's like, "So that's still young." And I was like, "No, it's not."
Like, first of all, I'm not gonna die. Secondly, I bet she was drinking like 4 a day, which is like I have half of one, or I get acid reflux. There you go. That's another like getting old thing. Everything that I
Oh
eat
my
good to
gosh.
you.
Yeah, if I eat too much damn pizza sauce, I get heartburn.
It's like you can have this delicious food, but you are gonna suffer.
It's like everything is a punishment. And like I take like a shit ton of vitamins now. I take like fish oil. I take like
Hmm.
a multivitamin. I'm like, I hate it.
It's horrible. I mean, I take regular medications and I'm like, okay, cool, those are great. But now they're like, you should try this, and also you should try zinc, and you should try that. And I'm like, also vitamins are $600 a bottle. Why the fuck am I gonna buy? Sorry, wait, can I cuss here? Actually,
I think so. I don't even know.
okay, I figured we'll find out. I guess.
We're gonna get
Why the heck?
we're gonna get demonetized. Just kidding.
Literally. Considering where we came from, they're like, why would you say that?
I actually moved back.
Oh yeah, no, I think I remember seeing that. Yeah,
And I'm
it's
like,
beautiful up there.
it is. But I'm just like back in my hometown like 7 years. I think it's been six, 7.
No.
6 or 7 years
Oh,
since yeah, I left and then I came back and I'm like, holy hell.
damn. Um, would you say that it's like incredibly different, or like
Honestly,
some a little bit different some ways?
the vibes are a lot better, I feel like. Like I was really nervous, but my mom's like,
Yeah,
nobody's gonna care, no one's gonna say like
yeah.
because where we were living, like it was kind of like small town, like in Globe, it was kind of small town, but
Mm, yeah.
I started not to, we didn't really start to feel very safe there.
Mm, that's
There was
unfortunate.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of like rednecks and Okies. And
Like, and I feel like that's just like all over Arizona. Like, there's just like large pockets of them, and I'm just like, you know,
I mean, they're not all bad, like
yeah.
whatever, but it's like, I just like it. So it's better up here. I feel like the vibes are a lot better. People are more, I wouldn't say accepting, but they're more like neutral or whatever.
They're just like, whatever. I'm trying to live my life and survive anyway, just like we all are.
Pretty much. Because I work
Yeah.
at the school now and
Oh wow.
I was like super worried. I was like, Mom was like, they're not going to give a shit. And I was like, we'll see.
Well,
And then
find out. What do you
everybody's like,
do there? That's so cool.
I'm just like a floating aide right now.
Nice. I love that. That's awesome.
It's nice. I was worried, but everybody's like super chill and they don't give a shit. So I was like, they're like, you fit in so good here. I was like, thank you.
Like, thank you. Question
Okay.
mark.
Yes.
That's awesome though. I mean, yeah, well that's great then. I guess like that opens up an entirely different conversation for how things have like changed and what's different, what's there, who's there, things like that.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's definitely, the vibes are better. I like it a lot better.
That's nice. I like that, especially like in the school setting specifically, because like there are obviously kids and like young teenagers, and it's like that needs to be a very like supportive and calm environment as much as it can be. So I like that's kind of how it feels now.
I
It's,
like it too because they put like I work with a bunch of different like grade levels and groups and like
mm,
kids throughout the day, so it's like I kind of get to see like everybody at the school, so
yeah.
it's kind of nice.
I'm trying to think who that would have been for us. Like who
I feel like
I
we didn't
remember
really have that.
we didn't have that a lot, but I know that in fourth grade, Mr. Tatum, his son was like an aide for people. Remember, they would like, he was like, he did like computer classes and he was like the computer class guy and he taught like the typing, or he just like would be in there monitoring you when you did the typing. And
Yes.
then He's definitely been involved in other stuff up until I was in junior high. After high school, I don't really remember, or into high school, I don't remember him. But I remember in like being in like six, I hate this, sixth or seventh or eighth grade. Um, I'll we'll be at work and like in a professional medical setting. I work in medicine, and I'll be there talking with people, and they'll be like, I don't know, they said like six, maybe, and then all of my aides are just like, and I'm like, stop
It's bad.
doing this. It's so bad, but I do it too. I'll be doing my own private like work alone, and I'll see it, and I'm just like, okay. But I remember in like sixth or seventh grade, I was friends with this guy. I'm still friends with him. He's actually wonderful. Chris Acosta.
Oh,
Yeah, he was like in the grade above us. He lived out where me and my family lived, like in the middle of effing nowhere. And he was teaching us bad words in Spanish, like teaching us how to say like balls and like other swear words that I don't remember. But we were saying that, and of course, our like assigned bus driver at the time, his name was Manny, and so he knows Spanish, and he was like, he went and fucking told on us that we were saying that shit. And I was like, you ever heard some kids talk about balls? Like kids are just gonna talk about whatever they want to talk about. And so then Mr. Tatum's son, what's that fucking? I think his name was Finn. Yeah, holy shit. And so he like pulled me into the room and he was like, do you know what these words mean? And he like wrote them down. And I was like, no. I was like, no. And he goes, yeah, you do. I'm pretty sure someone told you. And I was like, man, I'm so out of focus actually right now. And then I was like, no, he told me it meant high or something, which is obviously a lie, a bad lie for a sixth grader. But
interrogation.
um,
It sounds like an interrogation.
yeah, I was like, did they just like sick you on me? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, are you just here? Like, I was like, are you literally only here talking to me about this because no one of consequence gives a shit? Um, but yeah, so that's the only thing that I could akin that to. But it sounds more actually like more involved than he actually would have been.
He gave me ISS one time because I called Henry Pofall. Do you remember him?
I do. I remember the name, but I don't remember the face.
I called him like a girl or something as a joke, like, and he like flipped out and had a meltdown,
He's like,
and then I was like, I got in trouble. I was like, okay,
you're like, hello?
core memory.
Core memory. No, that's crazy. I'm really trying to remember him, and I feel bad because I don't know if this is accurate, but when I hear the name, the only image that comes to mind is The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Bilby. That's who I think of. And I don't
Bumblebee?
know it. Bulby, yeah. Fucking Bilby. Wait, that's a marsupial.
I remember he like would show us like movie trailers and like the Homestar Runner videos.
I don't remember that. That's
What?
crazy. Hey, why don't I don't know why I remember that. I mean, I remember kids would do that stuff. Like I would like they'd be like, let me show you this, let me show you that. But I don't remember that specifically.
He brought his Wii like when it was cool, like everyone was like, "Holy shit, the Wii!"
Oh,
And he brought it, and we played
damn.
like Wii Sports.
I want to look this guy up on Facebook now. That should be a segment of the podcast. Let's look up people on Facebook.
We could. Let me see.
That's crazy. I'm not really friends with that many people,
Me
or
neither.
at least online friends from high school.
I actually became really good friends with like Rebecca Reynolds, and like she
Wow.
was visiting, and we hung out, and we went and played pool at the Red Onion, and I was like, life
You're
is
like,
worth living,
you're like, damn, this is really like take me
healing.
back to the start type of, yeah, healing. That's crazy. Yeah, I was really close with her in senior year. That's crazy. At least I remember it vaguely.
She told me like a lot of tea, like he doesn't even have a,
Mm.
he's not even existing.
Ah, good for him.
She was like, I know, like no footprint, but she was saying how like people like misunderstood her a lot and like she got a lot of shit and was perceived and portrayed a certain way that she wasn't. I was like, I kind of
Um,
see that now. Like now that I'm like older, I was like, I
yeah,
kind of,
because like I remember she was very much like she was friends with a lot of the people that I think I would like in my mind. I'm categorizing that type of uh like stereotype. I think that was like depicted onto her. Um, but she was different than them in quite a lot of ways. Like I don't think she was not brought up like in this like in the religion the same way at all. And so
yeah, that's
I
what she
feel
was.
like that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And she did apologize. Like years ago, like when we first started talking, she's like, I just kind of did what everybody else did to like fit in, and we didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get that, and I was like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, because that shit was insane. It's intense.
And what?
It's
I'm
crazy a
trying to
bunch of
think.
times.
I haven't talked to my cousin Jessica in years because her mom's a homophobic bitch.
Jesus, that does not surprise me though. I remember her mom was like, I guess I should be careful about what I say. Actually, no, I don't. I'm almost 30. Why do I give a
Yeah.
fuck? But I remember, yeah, like I was really close with her actually. But then her, yeah, every so often, like her mom was just really weird and like seemed kind of hostile a lot of the time.
And it got worse, and I was like, what the hell's your problem? Like, I was like, growing up, like, I was used to it, but like, this is like a whole nother level.
Yeah, like
This
growing up,
is,
you're like, oh, that's just my crazy relative, whatever. And then you grow up and you're
oh my,
like maliciously bigoted. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
oh, she went off on everybody. She like cut everybody off, but then she blamed it on us. I was like, you're the one that had beef with us that we didn't even know about. So how the hell is it our fault?
No, literally, it's like you were the one that had a problem with me, and I didn't even know about it, and nor did I care. But now, I don't know. I feel like people like that, it sounds redundant, but they're so inwardly focused that like they don't even recognize the things that they're doing. They're just like, I'm only thinking about how I feel, but not about how it is like how I'm interacting and my emotions are affecting the world around me. I'm just like,
It was
you're
like
like what, like 40, grow up, or 50, whatever.
it was her. It pretty much like she worried about her and her man and Jessica and Carissa, and that was it. And like,
And it's so embarrassing, like you and your man, like, dude.
and he was weird. Like he didn't talk to us. Like he was not. He was like awkward.
I'm trying to remember if I knew him, if she was like with the same guy, or if she was
His
just like,
name's Heath or something. He's like a skinny guy with like a goatee. He looks like he'd be in like a divorce dad rock band.
yeah, I was just gonna say the first thing I thought of was like, and I love this show, and no hate to those characters, but like a Sons of Anarchy kind of guy, or just like a very like just looks
Yeah,
rough.
but like in a nerdy like it's weird.
Oh, like not even like even remotely cool, just like
No, like
adorable.
divorced like Walmart creep.
Oh, oh, there you go. Yes,
But yeah,
see now.
she went off to my grandma about it. My grandma took the blame. I flipped out on my grandma because I didn't know, and there was a big old mess. 20 this was like during like COVID or like right, I don't remember, but it was like 2021 maybe, I don't know. I was just like, absolutely not.
That's
Bullshit.
absolutely crazy.
I was like, no.
Like, oh, sorry, I was gonna ask. So, like, what is like Jessica and Chris? Are they just like they're just like okay, we're on like our mom's side, and like we're just gonna go and like we're just gonna
I just
still
cut
prefer
them off.
her.
I didn't even talk because I wasn't there for everything. And I was like, if your mom is gonna go behind my back and make our grandma like talk shit for you and take the blame for you, like I'm not dealing with you.
Yeah, like
Like
you're not
guilty
acting like
by
an adult.
association, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I feel like at a certain point, there's like, okay, I can tolerate the way that someone that I'm related to, like someone that I'm close with, is behaving. But there's a very, I feel like people are like, oh, there's like a line, like it's blurred. Like, no, there's a very strong, like clear line between, okay, you're just kind of like a dick, between, oh, you're an actual bad person and you are hurting the people around you and your family. And I feel like people are, they think so strongly that they are right all the time that they can never see that. They're just like, nope, this is how I feel, and I'm justifying how I feel by doing whatever I think is right. And it's like, okay, well, this is why no one fucking likes you.
No, and then she only kept in contact with like the older siblings who didn't say anything to her or really didn't
Mm.
get involved. But she was just like using my one uncle for like house repairs and other shit. Like she would only reach out to him when she needed something. And I'm like, that's messy as hell.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you obviously are a very surface level relationship with this person, and like it's not necessarily his fault, but he obviously deserves better than that. But I'm the same way. Like the people that I care about, or people who are not even my family, people just friends. I'm just like, yeah, sure, this kind of puts me out a little bit, but yeah, I'll help you, whatever.
Right. And like my aunt that raised Jessica and Carissa pretty much for her, she was
Mm-hmm.
like, don't say shit to me. You don't know what it's like to like raise kids and shit. And I'm like, really? I was like, my aunt, other aunt raised everybody's kids and took care of them and babysat them. So why would you say that to her? It was so messy.
Yeah, like we're literally all over here all the time.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but it was messy. And I was just like, I'm protecting my peace. She actually called me. I didn't have her number saved. She called me the night before my wedding and was like, "Hey, I heard you're getting married. Like, I'm happy for you, and like, don't believe everything the family says, cause like they like to twist things." And I was like, "Girl, stop."
You're like, you could have also literally just stopped it like, I'm happy for you. You could have been like, I'm really happy for you. And I hope that you have like a very good day and a great time and like a great marriage and everything. And then shut up and hung up. Like, Jesus. I feel it's like,
It
ugh.
was years later too, like 2 or 3 years, and she still had to play like the victim card. I'm like, no. I was like, quit trying to play
Mm-mm.
the victim. I said, you ran your mouth and went off on everybody. Own up to your consequences.
Exactly. Like, don't just sit here and pretend that it didn't happen. I feel like that's more embarrassing. Like, I'd rather just like eat crow and be like, yeah, like I behaved like a dick. Like
Thank you.
yeah. And like, people are just,
And then my grandparents are like, I wish you guys could all just get along. And I was like, she burnt the bridge. How the hell is
yeah.
it her fault? Like,
I
no,
know. That's what they'll say. They're like, I wish we could all just get along and be like, I didn't fucking do anything. Like,
no.
hello? Oh, God, that's how my family is. That's how my parents are. Um, they're always very much like, everyone get along whenever it concerns something that's like upsetting or like harming, especially like their daughters. And then my older brother, this would be like a whole long ass story, everything that happened with him. But
Michael or your other brother?
my other brother. Well, with Michael too, everything was just kind of crazy, honestly. But even though they are the ones that constantly like make a problem for my parents, they're perfect, like they can do no wrong. And I'm just like, they're like, I wish we could all just get along. Dude, I wish that my brother wasn't a Nazi now, but that's his choice. So I can't really change anything about that. And
Which brother?
my older brother, Michael, I
Oh,
don't I don't think he is. He better not be.
I was gonna
But
say,
I
I
don't
was
think
like,
he
I
is.
don't really.
No. No, it's crazy. So um for Michael, at least anyway, I guess I could talk about him because I know you know him or we were all in school together. But he ended up not finishing high school, which I think everyone kind of already knew. Um, but then after he dropped out, he was just living with my parents. I think he was like doing work for my uncle or like doing work here or there, but generally he was just kind of like just at home. And he got like really sick because my dad is really sick. My dad is a really bad alcoholic. And so being in that environment and not like finishing school or having like a reason to leave that environment, Michael also got very sick. Um, and if he gets upset that I'm talking about it, I see no realistic way why he would find out about this. But anyway, I'm like, you don't know. Does he even know what a podcast is? That's actually really mean. I shouldn't say that. But anyway, so he was just really sick for like a lot of years. So I started working for my mom after I graduated. I worked in her doctor's office and I hated my dad so much. Like I hated my family so much that instead of living at home and then going back and forth with my mom, I just lived in the back of her office. So there are times where I stopped. Like there was a time in 2016 where I didn't work for her for 6 months and then I came back. And there was a time in 2020 when COVID started and I was like, I didn't want to leave. But then I ended up coming back because I couldn't find another job. And but in between all these times, like I never stayed living at home really because like all my stuff was at home and like that's where I legally lived. But I stayed at where we worked because I just hated my dad so much. Like they were just terrible to be around. And so I lived in the back of this doctor's office and I worked there for like 8 years and did all this different stuff. But in that time, he was just at home and he didn't have anything to do, so all he did was drink, and he got sick and like a whole bunch of other crazy stuff happened. He's been sober now, I think for a few years. I think I want to say like 3 year, almost four, and he doesn't live with my father anymore. He actually stays with my mother. They stay in Payson where my mom works, just because like travel is so expensive now that they just have to be able to stay there during the week while they work. But so he lives not with him. He's doing a lot better. He's really healthy. I don't know what else he does. I know that he breeds dogs.
Huh.
But as far as I know, he's doing pretty well. People ask me, they're like, "How's he doing? Is he doing okay?" And I'm like, I guess our parents didn't love us, so we don't really communicate. I'm like, I don't know what my siblings are doing. I don't know how they're feeling. I don't ask them how their day is. I'm just like, hey,
Right.
um,
How far was it? I'm trying to remember from the turnoff. I'd never been out that far.
oh yeah,
How far was it? Like,
um,
wasn't it like an hour from the turnoff? Right there by.
it's about like 45 minutes to an hour. Um, it was about, I want to say it was either 23 or 28 miles, but it was like way out there. Yeah. So at
Crazy.
least like 45, 50-minute drive one way. Um, and then like that was just from Heber to out where they live, which is I guess technically called Chevelin Acres, the
Yeah.
retreat, one of those. And so even from Heber to Payson, where my mother's practice was, that was like another hour and a half. Or no, was it another? It's like maybe another hour. So she was driving at least 2 hours one way every day. And I was like, well, first of all, when I started working, I didn't do that because that just kills a person. I'm like 4 hours in the car every day is abysmal. And then at that time, that was like right after I graduated high school. So I worked as the front desk. Excuse me one second. Sorry, he's chewing on something over there. I don't know what it is.
Good.
Um, but yeah, so I worked as like the front desk, and then there was this guy that worked with us, and this is crazy because I'll spoil the end of the story. This guy is dead, but there's this guy that worked with us, and his name was Zach, and he had a lot of issues. Like he was a medical assistant technically, but he at first was just like not a good medical assistant. He just like wouldn't finish his work. He wouldn't like give people the results they needed. He wouldn't finish like referrals or prescriptions or anything that he needed to do. He wasn't doing it. And then after like some years or some months even, he would just show up to work drunk, or he would show up to work high. He would leave work early without telling anybody to go get high, or he would leave work multiple times a day to go from her office was on the 260, obviously, because that's the only road going through Payson. And so if you just when you get into Payson coming from Heber, for those of us who know geographically, um, it's just on like the right hand side before you see it's like the Chevron, the fucking steakhouse place, the Majestic Rim Hotel, and like across from the I think it's Speedway now, but it was
Yeah.
giant. Yeah. So like right in there is where her office used to be. Now she's behind the post office. And for a while we were down on 87, I think. Is that 87? I don't know. We bounced all around. It's a whole thing. But that's where she used to be. And so he would go over to the gas station like multiple times a day to visit his little girlfriend there. And I say his little girlfriend because this was a girl that was dating another man, and that he would like regularly and publicly like touch this girl and like kiss her, and like they would just I'm like everyone here knows you, everyone here knows everybody who knows everybody. Like I like that's your cousin. You're working with your cousin, and then like it's just crazy. And
Wait, he
so
was dating his cousin?
no, sorry. Like
Oh,
it's
I was like,
basically just like they would do it in front of everybody, but everybody knows everyone there in a small town like that. Like the girl that he was messing around with, she worked with her cousin,
oh,
and her cousin was friends with the guy she was like dating, or like a friend of the guy who she's dating. So basically, like it would be very obvious for people to get that back to her boyfriend, and so he was constantly like having people come in and like picking fights with him and like arguing him, and he would like come in drunk, and he would like get like there were results that he was supposed to give people that he just wouldn't give for months, and he was just generally very bad at his job. So we didn't fire him. He actually quit because at one point the doctor, my mother, asked him, "Are you fucking stupid?" And so he's like, "I'm not going to work here anymore. That's terrible," which it was objectively terrible. As a human being, this is going to sound really mean to anyone who might know her. She's not a good person. She's a very mean person. But she asked him if he was fucking stupid. Valid question if you know that guy. And so he's like, "This is bullshit. I'm giving my 2 weeks." And so he showed up for 1 week. He would still show up like super late, wouldn't really do very much. He would be high half the time. And then he just didn't show up the second week at all. And shortly after that is when I became the medical assistant. So I did that for a number of years for her with this manager that she had that was just like, think of any Let me think of somebody that we might have known. It's like, think of like an administrator in the schools that we went to who was just like always a bitch. And I'm trying to think of who that would have been.
Christy
This
Cook.
is, wait, I'm trying to remember who that is.
In third grade,
Is it the teacher?
Miss Cook,
Oh, yeah, she was.
or the substitute that got yeeted in the face with the dodgeball.
Wait, who was that? I don't know.
Tanner Fogel's grandma.
Wait, what was her fucking name? Monica's actually, I think, still friends with Tanner wherever they live in like Idaho or something. It's crazy.
Crazy.
It is. I don't know if he still lives there near her, but I love her. We're still very close, actually. Um, I don't remember that, but that's fucking crazy. Was this like an old ass woman when she got hit in the face?
Yeah, her glasses flew off and everything. I remember it was at Caps in the main lobby area.
Oh, the fucking what they think the mall, I think is what they call
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yo, they were having kids just run around on cement blocks, cracking their fucking skulls open. I think
Remember
I
the
fell and cracked my skull at
remember the
least twice.
self-defense class they made us take in there?
No, I
Miss
don't. That's
Lewinsky?
crazy. Oh, I think I vaguely do.
She popped up on my Facebook the other day and I was like, jump scare.
I remember, I think this is gonna sound so horrible. If this is too horrible, please cut this out. But I remember being like surprised when I found out she was married to a man.
No, I thought she was
I was like, are you lying? Be serious. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm incredibly, for anybody who doesn't know this, I'm incredibly gay. My longest relationship to date has been with a woman. Sorry, who the fuck is messaging me 100 times? Let me turn this off really quickly. Oh,
your
okay.
brother. He's like, shut up. Just kidding.
No, it's just uh this this person. Oh my bad.
And then you said the guy died. What did he die? You that
Oh
coworker?
yeah, sorry, man. I'm just going
We're
all over
good.
the
We're
place.
good. I was
This
like,
is so fun though. So yeah, so like shortly after that, he left Payson to come live down here, I think with like his cousin. Um, but I don't remember if his cousin was just at the time or shortly after that or at some period after that became homeless. So he like didn't really have a place to stay. And so I guess he eventually just got addicted to drugs like crack or like heroin. And I think I remember hanging out with him one more time. And there's something happening in my life currently at this point that is actually making me realize how parallel this is to the things that I let myself get into. But anyway, I remember hanging out with him one more time after he stopped working for us, and he looked like he was just like regularly using crack, like regularly using heroin, just like he looked awful and terrible. And a couple years after that, it was like right at Thanksgiving, his parents, who were like, of course, our patients, because everybody knows everybody, came in, and his stepmom actually used to work for us, and she was fucking crazy. And she would come into the office drunk. And like when they fired her was when my dad also worked there, and she like threatened to sue them. And my dad was like screaming at people. My dad was like incredibly abusive to the people there. Holy fucked up thing, the total of it. Oh, it says we have 10 minutes. That's horrible. But anyway, so he OD'd. He ended up like dying because he was just like doing all kinds of like drugs, and then he was homeless. He didn't have anywhere to go, so he was just. And I don't remember from what, but yeah, I was like, damn, that's crazy. So every now and then I think about that guy, and I'm like, damn, that guy's dead.
that's crazy.
Something about him though, not to speak ill of it, is this man, a grown man. I want to say he was like, I think at least 24 or 25 when he worked there. Would regularly pick his nose and wipe it under the desk. I remember like this is so gross again. I remember at one point like I was just working there and I was just like cleaning stuff and I was like organizing my desk or whatever, and I like put my hand under the desk and I was like, what is that? And of course when you don't know what it is, you continue to touch it. And so I like looked under and it was just like dozens of fucking boogers. And I was like, men can never. Straight men can never.
No, they can't.
But yeah, so crazy whole thing. So then I ended up working for her for a couple of years, and then I was just like, well, this is just incredibly too much. I'm too mentally ill. I need to leave this environment. And then I came and I started living down here with my sister. And I've been kind of bouncing all around for a little while, but that was in 2023. So a few years.
That's good though.
Yeah, definitely a lot better.
It was good for me to move away for a little bit too and kind of
That is good. Yeah.
because everyone's like I noticed like the people like a lot of people like come back here but they don't really like change or like they
Mm.
never leave and they're just the same and I'm like because like my brother is like still in like that high school mentality like we're 3 years apart
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's still like oh I have like all the I'm like high school's over like your glory days are over like do something different like mix I was like get over it.
Like literally, like move on to the next phase of your life. How old is he now?
We're 3 years apart. I'm going to be 29 in June, so like 26. He's going to
26.
be 26 next month.
That's
If we had more
embarrassing.
time, I would spill all the tea about him. But let's
Mm.
just say he married a lady and she was a psycho and they had a kid and she had like two other kids from a previous marriage and she's like a hardcore narcissist and it's bad.
Ah, we definitely need another episode because this is so much tea we gotta get into.
Well, we have 7 minutes and then I could just like we could do that.
Yeah, we
But
could.
real
I'm down for
quick,
that.
talking
Yes.
about coworkers, I had a coworker everyone's like, "Oh, he's so kind and so helpful." This was in Globe at the school.
Hmm.
I worked in the food service. He didn't show up for work for a while, and everybody's like, "What happened to him?" And he told our boss, like, he finally reached out. I think like a couple days later, he's like, "Oh, I got in a car accident, and like my back's like fucked up, and I'm not gonna come back to work for a while." And I was like, "That's weird," because like I was friends with him on Facebook, and like he never said anything.
Yeah.
Turns out I don't know if it was one or two girls, but he was like a molester, like a pervert, like a weirdo. And
Jesus Christ.
he lied and the school like tried to cover it up, I guess, and like pay the families not to say anything. But when I found out, I was telling everybody. I was like, and then that's when I kind of quit working. Like I told everybody, I was like, I will never like Globe School District is awful.
That's
Like
so terrible.
I was like I would never I was like and for him to like lie and like he got caught but then he did it to one of my husband's coworkers. He got her drunk and like took her out in the woods and like attacked her and I was like and the
Jesus
cops like
Christ.
arrested him like finally and I was like it took two damn times for you guys to do something.
Yeah, and that's just so fucking typical too. That's fucking disgusting.
It
That's
was
awful.
I was like, because he was like really close with like the girls, and he's like, oh, they're like my cousin's kid, or like something weird. He's like, I know her mom, and I was like, okay, but then the
It's
whole
like,
time he's
okay.
like being a freak.
That's disgusting. That's awful. And that's the thing is like it's just they're just I mean, not that they're literally everywhere, but they're literally everywhere.
Yeah, no, here in
It's
town is horrible.
yeah,
I
I
looked it up
imagine.
like I think a year ago just for shits and giggles, and it's bad. And there's like a ton, and they're all like old white guys, and I was like, ew.
Yes, because like that's the one haven that old white pedophiles have is the church, Jesus, Jesus in the church, which is like a whole other thing we could get into, but and that's
Yes.
just like that's crazy. But also there have only been I want to say not a lot, but there have been a couple stories that like even my mom, who is not privy to the outside world at all, outside of her own head, she'll even like mention to me, she goes, this teacher or like these people or like this person in Hebrew, da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, are they fucking diddling a child? Because that's what they do there. It's literally insane.
After we graduated, like I found out like there were so many teachers they hired, and just like that Tara Lee, I think it was Tara Lee with Hans Darga. I was like, that's disgusting.
Wait, I remember that kid, but who?
He was sleeping with the or some teacher. I was like, that's gross.
That's actually that is gross and that's also awful.
And I guess
That's
she had
awful.
done it at the other school districts that she was at before, but like, I don't know if she got caught or like if it just got. And then,
So it was just like I left and they just stopped talking about it type of thing.
there was the Melinda Porter one.
Yeah, what that was the one where she was like it was like a 14-year-old boy or
Yeah, and they
something.
were meeting at like the Red Onion and shit, and his grandpa would like drop him off there, and I was like, how did you not know?
You were just like, yep, yep, I'm gonna go let my 14-year-old grandson hang out with a fucking grown woman at a bar. What the fuck?
When Jason Aldean said try that in a small town, he was
And he said, I will. And he came back and said, Jason, it works. It's fucking
But now
insane.
she is on the Jesus bandwagon. She is like, I'm a changed woman.
Girl, fuck you.
I'm like,
And that's so insulting because like even as somebody like we grew up in a very, very like theistic town and like it was very heavy. But even growing up in that type of environment, I'm like very not religious at all. I think I would, as much as it makes me feel like a hippie to say I'm just a very spiritual person.
me
But
too.
literally, um, I still feel like that is such an insult to Jesus. Like that's such an insult to Jesus and to people who actually like practice religion, any religion, in a way that is meant to be like this is for me to feel more secure in who I am as a person and in my life and like help me find clarity and direction. And also like a big part of it is like a big sense of community. And so that's why like I used to knock religion a lot and I still do. I think it's all insane. But there is like a significantly bigger portion of it that is just healing for people. And when I kind of realized that, like even girls at work, and I think they helped me learn a lot actually, which is very wonderful. I'm very grateful for them, but they are very like religious, they're very Christian. And so they'll talk a lot about those kinds of things and um never in the way that we were preached at really, like in a very different way they go about it. And I think that was where I was like, oh, okay, this is actually like this is fantastic. Like this helps people. It makes them feel closer to their children, their family, their loved ones, and like makes you feel like you have a sense of community, especially when they would talk about different churches that they were trying to go to just to get along with better people. And it was just like fantastic to hear. So, and whenever I hear people say that, I'm like, fuck you. Like, I don't even identify as that specific religion. I was like, but that's such an insult to people who practice that religion. I'm like, and you're literally over here just saying, like, I'm a changed woman. Like, no, you're there because you got caught being a fucking deviant. And now you want to absolve yourself of any guilt and you want everyone else to be like, look, guys, I'm okay. I'm changed. No, you're a fucking sicko. Go to fucking therapy.
Put a scarlet letter on that whore and burn her in the.
Literally.
No, that's what makes me mad too. Like when people go to that as like a scapegoat or like a hiding place to like make them like in small towns, it's like you cannot use that to like hide your stuff. Like that's like
Yeah.
it is insulting. It's really messed up. And
And
then
it's like
like
it's
it
also embarrassing. Like
and
just
then it
don't.
makes the like
Yeah.
the church look bad because like most of the times they probably don't know, but like if they do, and then like there's a whole scandal, like it makes that church look bad and like the leaders, and it's just
Exactly. And that's why everyone's like, oh yeah, like the Mormon church leaders or like the Catholic church leaders, which like historically, no offense, it's been true. But they're
yeah,
like all these leaders of the churches, they're just like people who just touch little kids. And it's like, well, they are specifically because people let them be like they let these people put themselves into these positions of power and authority. And then like they're specifically only doing that to absolve themselves of these guilts. And it's like, should you like maybe it sounds a little uncouth, but you should be doing a background check on your fucking pastor. Like you
yes.
shouldn't just be like, come into our congregation, you must be fantastic. And it's like, no, this man touched a child before.
That happened at my aunt. Oh, all right, we cut out, but I'm gonna splice this all together and work my magic, hopefully. But
Yeah.
yeah, my aunt, no, she had a neighbor. She found out like I think they went to the same church. I don't remember, but he was like molesting his daughter and like a creep, and like the wife didn't know, and like finally, like the daughter told leadership or somebody like what was going on, or like I don't even know, like I don't remember exactly what happened, but like the daughter like got him in trouble, and I was like, good. I guess like a bunch of like cop cars, and like I was like, good.
Yeah, no, good. Like I'm glad she told somebody. That's just fucking awful. It's always the fucking old straight white man.
I was telling my mom that the other day. She was just like, okay, girly.
You're like, well, I'm right. Like I have a point. It's just crazy.
It
It's
is.
horrible. Especially like with everything like more recently that's happened and how like it's just like that it's bad, but then it's like actually it's so much more worse than you could have imagined, and this is how much it's happening all around the world. And I was struggling with that for like a while, like in therapy. I was like, how do you like how do we discover that like like the amount of an amount of people that we don't even know, that we can't even fucking quantify, have been like trafficked and abducted and killed and abused. And it's like all these young girls and these women, and it's so much. I was like, how do we learn about this and then continue to go to my job and pretend that everything is normal? It just made me feel actually like insane. So it's a lot better now. I mean, I just talked about it in therapy, so that's how it works. But it was just, it's crazy. And then just seem like you just hear about it all the time, especially like in places like that.
I'm going into social work and like it's really interesting. Like I almost have my degree, but with the way things are going, I don't think I'm going to do a bachelor's degree because like
Mm,
I would I wouldn't mind being in the school system, I guess, but a lot of school like I just saw like a bunch of schools in the valley are cutting like funding for school social work, and I'm
yeah.
just like where like I'm like where is like the job security? Where can I like help
Yeah.
most? And with an associate's degree, I can still do stuff.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, but no. And then everybody shits on the governor here, but she has a like a trafficking and like domestic violence like kind of like task force. So I thought that was really
hmm.
cool.
That is really cool. I like that. Yeah, a lot of people do shit on her. I personally, I like her, but um, that is good. That's refreshing because you don't really see, you see some people do it. Like it's not that it doesn't happen, but stuff like that is never like the big things that people are talking about. Talking about things that just piss them off that she does.
And like we grew like kind of like we've been talking about like we grew up in a small town like we were kind of sheltered or like kind of like
Hmm.
we didn't really realize like what was going on like all
Yeah,
these year like all this time like it's just crazy.
it is. Yeah, it's like you don't even realize, and then that's why like when stuff like this happens now, I'm like, you need to teach kids this. I was like, because otherwise they're gonna grow up thinking that these things don't happen, and they're not gonna know like how to process it, how to handle it when they realize like, oh, this is something that happens like all the time. And so it's like you just need to be more realistic with your children.
And I'm not going to say isolated but like up here like resources are kind of limited,
Hmm.
travels far like so it's just kind of a lot.
It is. It's really hard. It's a lot harder to actually get things done, like things done, and have them stay productive.
That's why I'm like I'm going to finish my degree in December but I don't know what I can really do with it up here or like
Mm.
so we'll just kind of see.
Yeah, that's good though. Because I know that my a girl that I work with, that was what she originally started to do. So she works as like our front desk manager, but I think before this, she's worked there for a couple years. Before this, she did. I think it's like I could be using the wrong acronym because there's so many, but I think she said she worked for DCS, and she was like in charge of people, or like she was like a case manager for kids and like their different cases. So she would like help them go out and like do stuff, and there was like a whole bunch of other things that she was in charge of, like checking in on the parents and making sure they were like going to like court mandated drug tests and all these other things. Like she did a lot of stuff like that. And I don't know, like you said, up there you're more isolated, so it's hard to know about what the what's the word I want to use, what the demand for things like that would actually be. But that's it. That's why I tell people, I'm like, I love it up there because I like how small it is. It's pretty, it's quiet. But I'm like, I can't make money up there. Not the
No,
money I make here for sure.
I'm gonna have to pivot and figure something out. And well, thankfully with social work, like there is like DCS and like families, but there's like a bunch of
Mm,
different avenues.
yeah, there's like so many different departments. It's crazy. It's nuts.
I'm kind of thinking about like victim advocacy, but I don't know what that would look like up here or how that would go with like the legal system and the courts. Like I don't feel like they're gonna put people's best interests, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be very like, it's gonna mimic more of what people expect from like government and government programs. It's gonna be like, well, you can do this and you can try, but it might not happen. But you can wait for 6 to 8 weeks and figure out if it does. It's like
Yeah.
very stone cold, but who knows? Maybe that can definitely change.
I worked on the reservation where my husband's from, and that
Mm.
was, I liked it, but it was hard. Like there was so much like happening. Like it was super like small town pretty much too, and there was so much like that would go on.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from that I know. so many people who have worked on the reservations, but like when I worked in Payson, a lot of our patients were like members of the tribe, and some of them would come in, and they, especially this one guy, I love him. His name was Nate. He would always tell me the tea on everything. I was like, you haven't told me, but I'm pretty sure you're gay. But if you're gay, we can go hang out. It's okay. Don't. It's okay. But he would tell me literally everything that would go on. He's like, this is what happens here, where people work here. This is what happens here. Oops, sorry. In the department of this area, like here's who works here, and this is who does this. And I'm just like, it's crazy. Like it's just like any other like small town type of thing. My nose, sorry.
I had to do like a CPS
Mm.
DCS report on a girl because
Uh,
she like told me stuff and then like the grandma got mad. But I was like, because she ended up going with her mom in the valley who had just finished a rehab program. But I told the grandma, I was like, well, I didn't get to say anything to the grandma because
mm,
like I don't know, because like I just worked at the school and like I had to like ask my supervisor for advice and like training on it. Like we
yeah.
had some, but I was like, I don't know what to do. And I guess the grandma was mad. And I was like, you want her to stay in that environment? And she had other granddaughters too. I was like, what if something happened to them or happens to them? I was like, it's not safe to keep her there. I know you want to like keep an eye on her, but I was like, you're at work all day.
So it's like I would rather be somewhere. I would rather her be somewhere else where I necessarily can't see her, watch her, as long as I know she's not being fucking abused in my own home. Like that's crazy. I hate that they get so mad. It's like, or maybe if you took care of whoever the hell was doing this to your granddaughters or your grandchildren or whatever, maybe it would be a problem.
Yeah, there's like a stigma around like mental health services and like
Mm,
shame that comes from like a lot of that, but I'm like you kind of at some point I was like you gotta look out for like your own. You can't just
yeah,
let that happen.
yeah. You have to let go your like preconceived notions of like what you believe about what they should do about it, or if they, but also it's like I just can never. I People always say it's like, oh, it's the times, like they're raised differently, and I'm like, no, that's like never made sense to me. I'm like, it's never been. I don't know. I've never understood how people are just so quick to accept like it's that's this the times. Like you just roll with it, you just go with it. You don't say anything. You don't see anything. Don't say anything. It's like no, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it just prolongs it. It's just crazy.
It's crazy. It's a whole cycle, but
So much.
so much. There was something I was thinking about saying, but I've forgotten now. Oh, I was going to ask. So, who all works like in the school with you? So, like other faculty and like other people that like, are there people who were working there when we went there that are still there? Or like not a significant amount of people?
Elwanda's still there, the secretary.
Damn, I'm trying to remember her. That's crazy. Good for her though. That's nuts.
Um, my Ferguson.
It is.
She's like the Girl Scout cookie lady. Uh,
No, I recognize the name, but I don't know. I just don't. I can't like put her face into
her
my mind right
husband,
now.
her husband owned the Red Onion for a while. Paul,
Yeah, that sounds very familiar. Wait, what was his last name? The same last name?
Paul Ferguson, yeah.
Sorry, there's so many people that I've worked with over the years, especially like in medicine and doctor's offices, where it's like I just have like hundreds and thousands of people's names in my head all the time. And so when you said Paul Perkinson, I went, I thought like this one patient. I'm like, no, that wasn't his name, and now I can't remember his name. But either way,
But pretty much like none of the OGs like pretty much are left there. Like
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Who's the principal?
his name's like Mr. Stokes or something. I think he's from the Valley or I don't know where he's from.
That makes sense.
He
They
reminds
just like,
me of
mhm.
Nicolas Cage. Like he
That's amazing. Wait, I should look this up. Wait a minute, I'm gonna look this up. Get my fucking keyboard out from underneath the
Oh yeah, you can
fucking
look it up on
desk.
the website. You can go to the school website, Internet Warp.
Wow. Let's see. Okay, I don't like. Okay, there's like the first one of the first photos that comes up when you search the school is it's a big red like with a red circle with a cross through it saying like no, and then behind it is the word abuse, and I'm like hello.
That's intense.
It seems disconcerting. All right, let's see what this says here. Believe, learn, achieve every student every day. Wagyan High School. Let's see here. Oh, the fucking. I don't know if this just hasn't been updated, but the letter or the message from the principal on the front of this page is from Reed Porter.
That's at the high, he's the high school.
Oh, wait, what school do you work with? Oh, wait, you're at
I
the
work at,
elementary school.
yeah, or Mountain Meadows.
Mountain Meadows, the school that looks like a turtle.
Yeah, I don't like that Reed is the principal, but I mean,
I mean, that kid, he's not even a kid. The fact that I called him a kid is kind of telling, but he was just odd. I remember like he would say so many odd things for like a grown man. And I'm like, I understand that like you were raised here and you're from here and you live here and everything of your life is here, but also you are a grown up. So stop saying some of the things that you're saying. Like there was one time, I feel like I've told this story to quite a few people, but there was when I think I was like a junior or a senior, and I was going into, yeah, it was Mr. Tenney's English class in
oh,
the first building. That man, I have another story actually. That I have another story for that fucking what was his goddamn name?
it was a
Is it
Dave.
Rhett Dave
Red,
or Rhett
red.
Tenney? Yeah. Excuse me. And so I was like walking into class, and so like of course Rhett's room is on like the like if you're facing it, he's on the left and Reed's on the right, and like Reed's opening the door. It feels weird to say like Mr. Porter, Mr. Tenney. That's weird. I'm like, you're an adult. I'm an adult. And he's standing there, and this is when he had like full on metal mouth braces as like a grown man.
Oh
No hate, no
yeah.
shade, no hate, no shade. You can afford them. You can get them. Take care of your teeth. Go right ahead. But I think it was what was her name? I think her name was like Alexa or Alexis, or but it was like, do you remember Thomas Palomo?
Oh, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. No, 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 not his sister. It was their cousin. Oh no,
Oh,
no, no. It was his aunt. Her
Candace.
name was like Candace. No, I thought it was like
Oh,
Alexis.
oh, the girl he called Tiger.
Yeah, no, 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 no. Wait, no, no, no. Because I think that girl's name was Christine.
I thought that
Or
was her.
no, I don't. Oh God, was it? Oh, maybe it was. But I think they actually called her Tigger, which is great.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't know. There's this one girl. God, I gotta look her up. No, because I remember in sixth grade, I was talking. It was not the same person. I think her name was Alexis. Maybe she wasn't related to Thomas. But I still see that person on my Facebook. Like comes up, it's like suggested. And I was in like sixth grade, and I remember I was talking to all of them because they were all fighting about something. And I remember she literally looked at me and she goes, you're straight up like Dr. Phil, because I was trying to talk to everyone about what their problems were. Um, but she was walking into the class. I was holding the door open for her, and Reed like leans across the hall, or like he like leans across the hall and says something to me. And at this point, I was significantly depressed in my childhood. I was just like, I don't fucking care about this. I don't care about none of you. I fucking hate it here. And he like says something to me, and I look at him and I'm like, what? And he like comes over and he says something about her to me. And I remember like the only thing that I did was, if you're in front of somebody, you can tell what part of like your face that they're looking at. And he was so close that literally the only thing I was doing while he was talking to me was staring at his braces. And then I remember like he's finished talking and I looked up at him and then I just walked away. And I don't remember what he was saying, but he was saying something weird about her. Like, I don't, it wasn't like necessarily mean or malicious or even like gross, but he was just like making a comment on something she was doing or something she was wearing. And I remember looking at him and I was like, what a weird fucking thing for an adult man to say. Like,
He was like a teenager. Like it was bad. Like he
he
always wanted like the
was
drama and
literally. And I was like, I'm honestly surprised. Man, this is going to sound so mean to say, but I'm honestly surprised that he didn't touch little kids. Maybe he did.
maybe
We don't
we'll
know.
find out.
We'll
You
find out.
He was
But yeah,
awful. Like we had a new student and he was autistic. I think his name was Ian, but Reed knew I was autistic. He's like, "You guys should be buddies." I was like, "Because we both have the tism."
we both have autism. Like,
I'm like,
people,
okay.
like, that's like, okay. Just because you don't want him to have to be friends with everybody else.
Remember when we were
Just
in that play together?
Yes, with Rhett. That was correct. I loved that though. I talk about that sometimes and it was so fun. But no, speaking of Rhett Tenney, this I think I can't remember if this was in our English class, our junior English class, junior senior English, or if it was in my humanities class with him, or if it was something else, like if it was from the play. But I remember there was one time, I'm pretty sure it was English, but there was one time that that motherfucker was up there telling a story and he starts talking about how he borrowed his brother's shorts one day. And basically, like, I don't even remember the whole entire story or how it, like, how he told it because it was so long ago. But the summation of the story was how he was talking about how he borrowed a pair of his brother's shorts and he didn't realize that when he had taken his brother's shorts and he had gone to school in them, that his brother had come in them. And I was like, why are you telling teenagers this fucking story in school right now? What's
He,
wrong with you? Like, it was so weird.
he got in trouble for showing like a Key and Peele video, I remember. That's all.
Yeah. Yes.
I
I
think
think
it
he
was
got in
like the
trouble because he was
racist.
showing us like Law and Order SVU too.
What?
Yeah, he was showing our humanities class. Actually, there was one time it wasn't this weird, but in thinking about it now, I'm like, maybe I should have told someone. There was one time where like we were in a humanities class and there was only like 7 or 8 of us at any point in time. But that day in particular, for whatever reason, I was the only one there. So literally our whole class was him sitting next to me and not on the monitor, mind you, but on the laptop on the desk watching Law and Order SVU. And I was like, I don't really like this. This is weird. I wasn't like uncomfortable, but I was like, why are we watching Law and Order? Because there was definitely inappropriate material to be watching with a teenager then. I'm just like, he was weird, but I'm sorry, I cut you off.
You're good.
You got in
No,
trouble for what?
he was weird.
So strange. And I remember he just like, he always looked like he had just taken like the fattest rip of a J. Like he was just like this.
His
And
face.
I was in classes with him since 8th grade. And in my yearbook, when I had him sign my senior yearbook, he signed it like, I know I only had you in my class for 1 year, but it was a great year. And I was like, Rhett, I was in your class for the last 5 fucking years. I was like, are you kidding me? We did a play together, you bitch, you bald bitch. Like, Jesus.
Hate
Oh, it's
crime. It's
crazy.
a hate crime at that
Honestly, yeah. I'm like, listen, it's because I'm gay or woman or both.
point.
But yeah, great times, great times.
What other weird teachers were? Do you remember that substitute that fell asleep or when we were watching Romeo and Juliet? Do you remember him?
I don't think I do. What were we watching it Romeo and Juliet
Was
for English?
that was freshman year and she had to edit it
Oh.
because there was like titties and stuff in it because it was like the 70s and I was like, "Why?"
Oh yeah, and wasn't the only way they edited it was like them covering the screen when the titties were on?
No, I think she ran a magnet over it or something and screwed up the.
Oh yeah. She like put it right where it was supposed to be, and I'm like, oh my God.
And then there
That's
was a
insane.
substitute. We were watching The Birds one year and he was laughing when the kids were getting into and I was just like, "Huh?"
Like, are you okay? Do you want this to actually happen to us? Do you wish that we were in the crows right now or the birds right now? That fucking movie, I don't know why they were showing that movie to kids. That movie is horrendous to watch.
And then the substitute that looked like Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I vaguely remember him, yeah.
There were so many weird ones. And that guy with the briefcase that would bring cookies. Do you remember him? Cookie
I
Man?
don't remember. Wait, I don't remember him,
He had like
but he
a
sounds familiar.
he had like a big fluffy mustache and glasses and slicked back hair and he'd always bring cookies.
Damn, I don't know why I don't remember most of these people.
Miss Edwards.
Miss Edwards, I remember
The,
her.
the
Like
girl.
the science teacher, Miss Edwards.
Yes.
No, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember having a conversation with her because me, as like I want to say a freshman or a sophomore, obviously didn't grasp the fact that you can believe in science and also be religious. But at the time, I was like, this literally makes no fucking sense, Miss Edwards. Why do you tell me that you believe in God when you know science is real? And that's, at the time, I remember her trying to like explain that to us, and I was just like, I don't know. I think someone's lying here. Like one of us is wrong, and I don't think it's me. So,
She
and then
accused
she
me
got
of
mad. Yeah.
plagiarizing my papers so many times. I'm like, I didn't.
No, I know they would too. What, and I would actually, but I I just remember like she would do it every time. Like she would bring you over and she's like, see, this looks like this, and this looks like this, and this looks like that. And I'm like, whoa, calm down. She was an intense person.
And she'd run it through her thing and it would be fine, but she would still assume. And I was like, girl, I can't do this.
It's like, what do you want from me? Like, do you want me to write it in front of you next time? Like, and I remember, didn't she quit because people were literally so mean to her?
Yeah, but she was weird. Like she was talking about her family tradition. They all, when somebody gets married, they give them a double-sided dildo and they all pass it down and share it. And I was like, what?
That cannot be that. Oh, why are like, there's so many things that people say to you as a child. And when I think about it, I'm like, that should have been illegal for you to say to us.
And no one seen us walked in and was like, huh? And I was like, you're gonna learn today.
You're going to find out today. I'm sure he found out other days too.
It was just some weird teachers. Miss Hollins is still my favorite.
She's the best. Actually, my brother, I guess, was recently, I guess my brother sold her a puppy or something. When my because my mom mentioned like Miss Hollins, I was like Miss Hollins, like actually fucking Miss Hollins, and she's like, yeah.
I'm Facebook friends with her. I was like, icon.
You're Facebook friends with her, you said?
She never posts or really, but I was like, I love her.
She's the best. She was the only people that ever told me, because I still don't have a driver's license because I just fucking hate driving. I don't drive.
Mood.
And I remember her being like, she goes, I didn't even get my driver's license until I was like in my late 20s after college. And I was like, that's cool. I'm not going to do it ever, but thank you for supporting me. She was the best.
Wait, was your brother one of the ones that Hansinger said just to drop out of high school because they weren't going to amount to anything? Was he one of those? I'm trying to remember.
I feel
He
like he
said
might have
that.
been one of those. Yeah, I
He said-
remember him.
and I was like, you can't say that to kids. Like, that's not
I'm like,
appropriate.
you're a fucking educator, you psychopath. Like, what are you doing here if you're not trying to just encourage kids? Even if in your heart of hearts, you're like, that kid's a bum. He's not doing anything. It's your job to say, like, yeah, you can do it. Fucking
Because
bitter
I
only, just because
remember
your daughter.
it
Anyway.
was Aaron Gutierrez.
Hmm.
It was, I think, was it
I don't
Sean
like,
Miller? I don't remember.
I think it was Sean Wheeler. It might have also been Mark Nash.
Yes. And then uh Turtle. I think Turtle.
Turtle. Oh my God, I think about Turtle sometimes.
He was
It's
weird.
crazy. He was very weird. He had like he had to have something that nobody knew about.
Probably, or he was just on a shit ton of drugs.
That's true. I forgot that he was on drugs a lot. A lot of kids do drugs there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else to do other than
No.
drugs. Of course, I say that, but I do drugs every day.
Drugs. Drugs are bad. Okay.
Drugs are bad. Okay. Let me
Who
think.
else?
I know. I was
Oh,
just
you're
thinking
friends
like,
with Chris.
yes, Chris.
Chris was
That's
awful to me, but
Jesus. Really?
yeah.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
He
He's
drew
not. Yeah.
he drew a dick on my shirt and ruined it.
I
And
remember
I was
that.
like, okay.
You're like, okay, bitch. We should bring him on here and then
Yeah.
pretend that we're just going to talk to him and be like, why are you a bully, bitch?
Yeah.
We'll confront him. He messaged me some months back wanting to be like, hey, like, how are you guys doing? Like, how are you and your sister? Like, I'd love to get together for like dinner one night. And I was like, oh, we'll absolutely have to. And I did mean it, but we just never did.
Whatever happened to what was Cody? What was Cody's name?
Cody Sullivan.
Sullivan. Whatever happened to him?
I feel like I remember he ended up moving down here before we finished high school. And I'm pretty sure he just like dropped out. He was like dating some girl, but I can't remember if he was dating that girl. Her name was Christina Ruiz, but that was the girl they called Tigger. And
Yes.
I couldn't remember if he was dating her or if it was just I think it was just some girl that lived down here already.
Me and
But
Thomas worked at Subway together one time.
Thomas Paloma.
Yeah.
Mm,
He would like hit on me.
I was just going to say that doesn't surprise me. Not in like a mean way, but I'm like,
No.
I can see that. Yeah.
He like grabbed my ass on the line one day in front of customers and I was like, "Excuse me."
That's assault. Hello? Why would you do that? And also in front of people. Not that I'm like, you should do it at all, but I'm like, if you're going to do something like that, you wouldn't do it when people are around.
His relationship seemed toxic because his boyfriend would like sit in the parking lot and like watch him on shifts.
That seems so weird.
It was very weird and I was just like,
Gay people in a small town, y'all got it rough.
"Yes."
Unless you like have a marriage or relationship that you've had already, it's rough.
And then
I
we
would not.
and
Yeah.
then we kissed in the walk-in fridge one time just for fun. But
I love that for
it was
you.
gross because he had just smoked a cigarette and I had eaten like
He
pasta for
takes back
lunch.
cigarettes.
So it was like garlic cigarette surprise.
Cigarette surprise. Delicious. Oh my God.
I was like, I was so messy. Messy.
I love that though. That's actually that's amazing. I like that you did that.
I'm doing the work of Ethel Cain.
You are.
I love her.
She's the best. I'm obsessed with her.
I played I don't know how to pronounce the Ptolemy song the other night and I scared the shit out of my husband. He was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Ethel Cain." And
That's okay.
he's like, "Oh."
I'm kind of scared.
I was like, "That's the point."
Be like, if it scares you, that means it's working.
I was like, "She religious trauma, girly."
Literally, it's like, oh, I love it. It's so good. Her music is so good.
We're seeing Florence and the Machine in a couple weeks and I'm so excited.
Nice. It is so exciting. Are you coming? Are they going to be down here?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Nice.
I think it's at Glendale Stadium.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of the shows are always over in like Phoenix and Glendale.
I like Talking Stick Amphitheater, but it gets too damn
Hmm.
hot.
Yeah, like I was there for a show for. I mean, you see the shit that I post. You know that I'm literally obsessed with the band Ghost.
I need to
Um,
listen to them.
they are like, if I did believe in a religion, it's them. Like that sounds so dramatic and like it's just definitely fanny, but um, I was gonna say maybe this is TMI or adults. I have a tattoo of their logo huge on my ass cheek. It's just I love it.
Proud of
It's like
you.
bright pink. I love it. And so that's where I saw them for the first time. I think it was September of 23. And I remember that day. This is so fucked up to say, but I remember that day was one of the one days I was off of work. And it was the first job I had after I'd quit working for my mom. And this other toxic asshole doctor that we like went in together like with on a practice. Well, like it was two separate practices in one building, but this man was a fucking disgusting monster, dude. And I quite finally like was like, all right, you're my mother, but you're an adult, so you can handle this yourself. And actually, I'm gonna leave so that I can get better in my life. And so when I stopped working for her, I worked for this one guy, and I was off that day. And I'm usually not because his office he did like hearing aids and like hearing tests. He was a hearing instrument provider. That's what I think they're called. And he called me when I was getting ready. It was either him or this woman that he was fooling around with that he didn't think everybody knew that he was fucking with, but he definitely did because she would paint her face geisha white and then it would get smeared on his face and also the back of the chair in his office, but that's a whole other thing. And so it was either him or her that told me that his son passed away that day. Like his son was like 23. They both had, I want to say, some form of like muscular dystrophy, like some sort of like physically um, like restrictive disorder that they were born with. And it wasn't, they said that it wasn't like out of nowhere, but then he said that it also kind of was out of nowhere because they were like, we didn't really expect it. And his son was like 23. And so like I'm off that day and he's calling me and he's like, I need you to call these patients. Like I need you to reschedule them. There was only like three, so it wasn't hard. So I just like called them from my cell phone. But it was like, so fucking crazy because I was like, okay, I'm going to this concert that I've been excited for months, and it's like my favorite person, and this guy's son just died. But not in like a woe is me kind of way, but I was just like, man, that fucking sucks. And so I spent from 11 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. outside of and inside the amphitheater at Talking Stick Resort, but it was an incredible show. Drank like 12 bottles of water, didn't pee once. This girl next to me, I'm still really good friends with, she barfed in one of my cups twice. Felt bad for her because she did not drink enough water. Fantastic show.
What kind of like what genre would like or like who could you compare them to, I guess?
Um, like I feel like the simplest way to put it would just be like they make metal music. So they make like metal or like heavy rock, and some people like to classify it as more like they call it Scooby Doo music because it's like hardcore and like really heavy music with like heavier instruments, but they also will sometimes do it in a very like poppy kind of way or like a very I don't want to say comical, but it's very like catchy. So some of it's like more metal than other parts of it, but it's all good. I love all of it. It's all very good. So yeah, that's what they usually would be like categorized as in like the metal category. They've won different awards in metal categories and stuff.
I've been meaning to give them a listen, but I've been so busy I always forget.
No, I'm the same way. I'm like, I want to listen to this and this and this and this. But if I have a free moment, my brain's like, nothing.
Yes. I like Sleep Token. Are they kind of like
I
that?
love Sleep
And Bad
Token.
Omens.
Yes. That's what a lot of people are very much like. Sleep Token and Bad Omens are more, I would say that Ghost is just like a little more mild than they are.
Oh wow.
Um, but I love both of them. They're so great. Wow. All three of them.
Iconic.
Literally great. Now I forget how we got to that section of conversation.
We're talking about we are just talking about music and then it segued
Oh
into
yeah.
uh,
We segued into that. So yeah, but let me think.
our time's about up. Yeah.
It is about up. I was gonna say we've done two now.
Yeah, we
I
can
don't know.
just yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, we could do this again, but I did also tell somebody I would be done at some point. I didn't tell them when. I was just like, well, I'm just going to be talking and then we'll be done. So we can be done now if that works for you.
Yeah,
That's great.
we can
Awesome.
wrap up. Well, thank you. Yeah, we'll
Fantastic.
have to do this again. It was good, like reminiscing, catching up, doing updates.
It really was. I definitely want to have it doing this again so we can just talk more about the people that we used to grow up with. Because I
Yes,
know
we
that
can just do like
there's,
a
oh my
throwback.
God.
We can do like
Yes.
a throwback Thursday episode.
Yes. It's fantastic. We can absolutely do that.
We can talk
Okay.
about that boy in first grade that we thought died because he never came to school, but then he didn't.
I don't even remember that.
Joey, do you not remember him?
Wait.
He leaned, it was in first grade, and he leaned over the railing after they said not to remember, and he fell into the main building right there at Mountain Meadows.
Oh, like he fell off like the top platform.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
we'll talk about him next
Oh
time.
my
Yeah,
God. Okay. Well, thank you
cliffhanger.
so much for like clipping. Yes, there we go. Thank you so much for letting me do this and talking with me. This is fantastic. I love doing this with you.
Of course, thank you.
Also, all right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.